She was the people's princess, a woman who redefined royalty, who lived and loved on her own terms. But even in death, Diana's wishes weren't her own. What should have been a simple inheritance for her beloved sons turned into a battle of control, secrecy, and betrayal. At a time when her family should have been mourning her loss and celebrating her life, they were instead twisting Diana's final requests into something she never would have wanted. Today, we're diving into the shocking truth behind Diana's will, the hidden changes made by her immediate family, and the royal silence that left many wondering, was her final wish ignored?
We have reports from Paris that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been killed in a car accident and that her partner, Dodi Fayed, has also been killed.
Princess Diana's will was made public less than a year after her tragic death in August 1997. The horrific car crash made international headlines, with followers of the British royal family unable to comprehend how such a beloved person could be taken from them so soon. The release of Diana's will was far from ordinary. The royal family has a long-standing tradition. When a senior royal dies, their will is sealed, hidden from public eyes. Prince Philip, who passed away in June 2021, had his will sealed for 90 years to protect the dignity and standing of Queen Elizabeth II. The same secrecy was applied to Elizabeth's own will. She died in 2022, with her son Charles ascending the throne. But Diana was different. After her divorce from Prince Charles, she was stripped of the Her Royal Highness title, and without it, she lost the royal protections that came with it, including the ability to keep her final wishes private. When her will was released, the public saw it as a rare glimpse into the personal affairs of a woman who'd fought to carve out her own identity outside of the British monarchy. But behind closed doors, some within the royal family were reportedly not pleased with its contents. At the heart of Diana's will was one simple truth. She wanted to protect her boys. She left almost £21 million to her sons. After taxes, the estate was closer to £17 million. This money was meant to provide them with financial independence from the royal family, giving them freedom outside of their royal duties, if they chose it. Originally, they were set to inherit these funds at 25, a young age compared to many royal trusts. But William and Harry weren't the only ones she wanted to provide for. Diana's will contained a separate document known as a Letter of Wishes. This was dated the day after she signed the document, meaning it was an intentional, carefully considered request. In this letter, she made a deeply personal request. 3/4 of her jewellery and personal belongings would go to her sons. The remaining quarter was to be given to her 17 godchildren. These weren't just material possessions, they were pieces of history, sentimental treasures that connected Diana to the people she loved. She wanted to ensure that even those outside of her immediate family had something to remember her by. But that wasn't what happened. Diana's mother and sister were the executors of her will. That meant they had the power to enforce or alter her final wishes, and within months of her passing, they took action. Without notifying the parents of Diana's godchildren, the executors quietly petitioned the court for a variance order, a legal loophole that allowed them to change the terms of the will. The court approved their request and Diana's instructions were overridden. Instead of inheriting at 25, as their mother had planned, William and Harry were forced to wait until they turned 30 to receive what she'd left them: her wedding dress and 28 others, family paintings, diamond tiaras, photographs, home movies and letters, and the score to Candle in the Wind, a song written by Elton John. But while the delay was controversial, the most heartbreaking change involved Diana's godchildren. Diana had been incredibly thoughtful when selecting her godchildren, many of whom were the sons and daughters of her closest friends. She wanted them to have something meaningful, a connection to her after she was gone. However, instead of 1/4 of her personal property, as she'd stated, the executors reduced their inheritance to insignificant keepsakes, items described in later reports as tacky mementos. For years, no one knew the truth. The changes to Diana's will were kept hidden, buried in legal proceedings that went unnoticed. When the details finally emerged through unrelated court proceedings, many of Diana's godchildren and their families were furious. They hadn't just lost a connection to Diana, they'd been deliberately cut out of the inheritance she'd wanted them to receive.
Every day, depending on what I'm doing, I wonder what it would be like if she was here, and what she would say, and how she would be making everybody else laugh.
So how did this happen? How could Diana's written requests be ignored? The answer lies in clever legal wording. Diana's letter of wishes contained phrases like discretion and wishes, rather than absolute commands. This allowed the executors to argue that they had the right to use their own judgment in distributing her estate. The court agreed, and with that ruling, Diana's request lost its power. But was this a deliberate attempt to keep all of Diana's possessions within the Spencer family and with her sons? Some believe that by ignoring the letter of wishes, Diana's mother and sister ensured William and Harry inherited everything, rather than sharing with outsiders. But if that were truly Diana's intention, why would she have written the letter at all? There are questions that may never be answered. Did Diana's mother and sister believe they were protecting her legacy? Or did they betray her trust to make decisions that suited their own interests? We may never know. What we do know is this. Diana fought to give her sons a life outside of the monarchy. She fought to take control of her own future. And even in death, she was still fighting against a system that often silenced her. Should William and Harry have inherited everything, or did her godchildren deserve the gifts she originally intended? I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Diana's final wishes were honoured, or do you believe something else was at play? Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives like this. While you're at it, leave a comment sharing your thoughts and tap the notification bell so you never miss a video. The Vintage News doesn't just cover the royal family, but also everything vintage Hollywood and nostalgia, so there's something for everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.